Witness breathtaking glacier carvings, a dramatic iceberg shooter, kayakers battling tsunami-like waves, and a colossal 100-foot ice chunk crashing into the water. Capture astonishing footage of glacier marvels and tsunami encounters. As the Lewis and Ice Fjord in Greenland receives a staggering annual influx of around 35 billion tons of calving or collapsing icebergs. The Jakobshavn Glacier, also known as the Elusive Glacier, can produce icebergs up to 3,000 feet tall. So you can imagine the waves they make when they crash into the freezing water. Armed with a camera and plenty of luck, the icebergs in the video grew for 250,000 years, but shattered in just 10 minutes. Greenland's ice sheet covers around 660,000 square miles, ranking as the world's second largest after Antarctica. The Helheim Glacier, located on Greenland's eastern border, is known for its incredible speed, dubbed after the Nordic realm of the dead. This ice formation has fascinated scientists for almost 2 decades. From 2000 to 2005, Greenland's glaciers rapidly retreated inland, surprising researchers with the amount of ice dumped into the ocean. Then, in 2013, an observer witnessed a truly awe-inspiring scene. The vivid colors captivate us as the colossal ice wall glides across the surface. Soon, another immense chunk breaks away from the main ice sheet and gradually disintegrates. The remaining fragment resembles the colossal ice wall from Game of Thrones. NASA has kept its eye on the Climb Glacier since 1997. If you find yourself exploring the last Glacier National Park in Santa Cruz, Argentina, make sure your tour group stops by the Perito Moreno Glacier. This glacier ranks among the nation's top tourist spots. On February 25, 2022, the tour group discovered Perito Moreno's irresistible summer lure. And you know it. I think a lot of people are. You know, bits and pieces of the glacier break off as the tourists watch in amazement. Soon, the entire wall gives way, leading to a massive iceberg shooter rising up from the ocean. The shooter creates a small tsunami, but the wave doesn't seem to pose any threat. Shooters occur when giant icebergs, sometimes the size of houses, break off at the base of the ice cliff over 600 feet below the surface. Emerging swiftly, they soar above the surface, propelled by immense force. Their vivid azure hue, a testament to eons under countless tons of pressure. Iceberg shooters are one of the rarest events in Mother Nature, as there is little warning before it happens. The Perito Moreno Glacier is the third largest freshwater reserve in the world, presumably behind the ice sheets in Antarctica and Greenland. The glacier is named after Francisco Moreno, a 19th-century pioneer who studied the Patagonia region on another trip to the Perito Moreno Glacier in March of 2020. A different group of tourists witnessed one massive chunk of ice falling off the glacier and crashing into the frozen water below. It's not, yay. Most of the glacial carvings begin the same way. Small chunks fall off from the bottom, and then one massive piece collapses under its own weight. Our tourists watch in awe as a 240-foot iceberg splits from the wall and slides into the water, creating an enormous ripple effect. At 2.8 million square miles, the Lost Glaciers National Park is the largest park in Argentina. Tourists come from all over the world to watch the tranquil glacial carvings when the season's right. But Perito Moreno isn't always so calm. People have been flocking to the Argentinian glaciers for a long time. This footage from 1988 is an excellent blast from the past. It shows us what the area used to look like before 3 decades of erosion. From the sound of it, a decently sized crowd gathered to watch Perito Moreno shed some weight on February 17th of 1988. Rough waters surged through a glacial archway in Perito Moreno as massive chunks of ice break off the walls and slide into the rapids. The archway begins breaking away and manages to hold on for a while before finally collapsing into the water. Perito Moreno is one of the few glaciers on Earth that maintains a state of equilibrium, meaning it gains about as much mass as it loses each year. Glacial archways like this seem to be a common theme among many Perito videos appearing in clips from 2006, 2008, 2012, and 2016. Longyearbyen is the northernmost settlement in the world, with a population greater than 1,000 people. Located in Svalbard, Norway, they are known for their massive glacial walls, where temperatures drop below 15 degrees Fahrenheit in the winter and only peak at 49 degrees Fahrenheit in the summer. The Svalbard glaciers make up about 6% of the world's glacial area outside of Antarctica and Greenland. Most polar bears live in the Arctic, but the Svalbard archipelago in Norway is one of the few places on Earth humans can regularly see them in the wild. About 3,000 polar bears live in Svalbard in the Bering Sea area, which is about 3 polar bears for every 1 human. That Vinegar is a famous glacier on the Kenai Peninsula in Alaska. It sits in the Nassau Fjord, a 4-mile inlet that branches off the Prince William Sound while the water is freezing cold. Despite the risks, kayakers remain undeterred, venturing near the ice wall in anticipation of witnessing a live glacial calving. However, a particular group of kayakers experienced an unexpected turn of events as the crumbling wall unleashed colossal 10-foot waves upon them. It's a shame. They may have lost the opportunity to witness the glacier collapse, but they certainly gained an encounter with formidable waves in frigid waters.